In a nation of 1.4 billion, India is rising as a global healthcare destination. Yet a major gap persists in robotic surgeries. Surgical costs are soaring. But a revolutionary figure is changing the healthscape. From high surgical costs and scarcity of robots to a revolution in making surgical robots in India. This half hour is dedicated to the man reshaping India's health landscape. Dr. Sudhir Srivastava, an advocate of the Make in India initiative, a pioneer in non-invasive surgery, transforming healthcare in India.
Hello everyone. Today we're embarking on an extraordinary journey with a man who's changed the healthscape of India in many ways. A man who left behind his lucrative career, a well-paid job in the United States of America to come back to India, to give back to his own people, to give back to the Indian community. Join us today as we embark on this very special journey with Robo Doctor. We're meeting the very extraordinary Dr. Sudhir Srivastava. Let's go ahead. So nice to meet you. Thank you so much for having us home, Dr. Srivastava. And thank you for appearing on India Today, for your time. And when I just came to your house, I was just wondering, I'm going to talk to you about robotic surgery and the things that you've done over the course of a very, very illustrious career. So the first thing that I noticed were these musical instruments. Right behind you, the drums. Are you the ones beating the drums?
Yes.
And playing the music?
You use the right drum. I don't play them, I beat them.
Okay, all right.
I try to play, but I'm not sure it works. Been very involved actually with the music for quite a number of years.
Okay.
Grew up with the family. Mother was a radio singer. Sister gifted with Asha Bhonsle type of voice. So I used to organize concerts and became very interested to learn. And during my medical college days, I tried violin, didn't succeed. So, but I think I've learned few songs with the drums, and we just have good time. So we have a rock band in SSI group, and we just get together, sometimes once or twice a month on Sundays, and just have good time together.
So music and medicine, how does that really blend?
Well, music is like meditation. It harmonizes the mind, blocks all kinds of other things. Medicine harmonizes the body. So I think there is a great, and music can be medicine as well. You know that there are music therapies. People get better.
So is this the best way to de-stress for you? Because I don't know of many doctors who get the time to pursue something like this.
Well, it's one of the ways.
Okay. So let's talk about that and tell us a little more about yourself and show us around.
Sure, thank you. We'll go this way. A lot of artwork you see here.
Yes.
Very interested in the. I
temple.
love Ganesha statue. It's beautifully done actually. Love this. Yes.
I do notice that there is a lot of religious elements in your house, and
Yes.
the perception is, and that's what I get a lot as well, that medicine, science doesn't blend with spirituality and religion. So, but I think you are pretty different here.
Well, I think when you really get to it, spirituality is nothing but continuation. So where science stops, metaphysics begins.
Right.
So there are a lot of things we don't understand, but ultimately, when we start to truly analyze, I think we'll be amazed how there is absolute continuity, and there is no conflict actually between science and religion when we understand it correctly.
So a lot of doctors, have this tendency to sort of portray religion in a way that, this is not science. This is religion, this is all about faith, and it's obviously got no rationale to it. So how would you respond to that?
I think when we truly look at religion and science, so firstly, maybe this is a wrong terminology. Religion is kind of one of the most misunderstood thing, how the dogmas have been played out over the years by various priest class.
Yes.
Okay, versus what it is actually.
Yes.
So Swami Vivekananda says religion is realization of who we are. And if you really look into it, when we start to analyze, and I must say I have learned more about spirituality through analyzing the human body, how wonderful this is. So many things occur automatically. So essentially, when you think about what we call science, it's an observational retrospective analysis versus why we are all here, why all this nature exists, why there is this universe. Suddenly we get lost into in-depth questions. So I think there is no real conflict once we understand it correctly. One leads to other automatically.
You just celebrated your birthday as well, and
Yes.
you've just turned 76. So, what I want to ask you is that most people at this age should just want to be laid back, just relax and enjoy. But you are at it. You have not halted. Your energy, what is it that is pushing you?
First of all, what do you mean by age? Age is just another number. From one day to the next, we become another year. Nothing changes. So ultimately, if you have goals, you are energetic, you keep going at it with goals in mind. Age never actually kicks in our normal behavior. And if anything, I think it creates to a degree, this just the number, chronological number, a sense of urgency. There is so much to do in the world, so much to accomplish, so much to give back. So why not to give it all? And that's what really keeps me going. I think human life is very precious, and we must use it as best as possible.
I also want to ask you, in all our lives, and this applies to all of us, our education really is what, carves out that path for us. Yours has been an illustrious career. Talk to us about how your education contributed to your being in this position today.
Fortunately, I grew up in a very kind of a cultural environment, very intellectual environment. Dad was professor of English literature and a Shire, won all kinds of awards. And partly it is destiny how we get. I was filling out a form from the 8th grade to the 9th grade. Space age was going on back then. And I used to draw a lot, spacecraft. So I wanted to be an engineer. And I filled out mathematics, physics, and chemistry. That evening, Dad's friend happened to be at the house. He said, "Arey sahab, inko engineer mat banao." Many unemployed engineers today. So just like that, mathematics was crossed and biology was put in. And here I am a doctor.
It's
But
complete
this is,
destiny.
yeah, it is actually. It's like you do not know. A lot of things happen in our life.
True.
That if we look back and objectively connect, we find that one thing leads to the next and to the next.
And that's
So I
where
think-
spirituality also comes.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, there is a connection. Yeah, there's a connection. We are here for a purpose, and that purpose is driven beyond us.
Absolutely.
Well, it's a beautiful day outside.
Yes.
Finally, the Delhi fog has gone.
Yeah,
How about
it
we
looked
walk
like-
outside in the sun?
Yes, absolutely. Let's go. Let's go. So the robotics doctor, the robo doctor is what they call you. I just want to know from you, sir, of all the things that medical science offers, what is it that interested you? How is that robotics interested you? Why do you think it was different? And what is it that got you, interested and inclined towards robotics?
So it's a wonderful question. So as all heart surgeons those days, we were trained cutting the sternum and stopping the heart, pushing the patients on heart-lung machine. And it was wonderful and easy for surgeons. And these were early days of evolution of heart surgery that time. And but it was not good for the patients. The long morbidity, complications, people having a stroke, a lot of blood loss, etc. So after my training, I moved to Texas to start my practice. And in the 90s, I started to think, we have got to address the patient recovery factors. Because if you think about it, patients come to a doctor to get better so they can go back to their functional lifestyle. And that's the only reason people come. But then when we make these large incisions and 2-3 months of recovery, so I was just really looking for ways that we can get out of this splitting of the sternum. So I developed an approach that time back in, I think, 2000. We called it Thoracab. It was the name that I coined it. And we were doing all the bypass surgeries and valve surgery through small incisions between the ribs. So we didn't have to split the sternum. And I saw wonderful recovery, but I was still not satisfied. I wanted to be able to do the surgery literally through keyholes. And early on, I experimented with some, kind of homegrown ideas. Didn't succeed. Then in 2002, I was going to build a hospital in West Texas. And we built I was the founding chairman, built a $57 million hospital in a small town of Odessa, Texas, 100,000 population only. And so one of my goal was to purchase the robotic system. It was available and approved by FDA. And so that we can do all of these very complex operations through tiny fingertip size holes, just like laparoscopic surgery. So I really got involved with that thing. And I saw the benefits of the patient. So I did with the first generation of the system back then, 750 cases with zero mortality, no deaths at all in these robotic cases.
Good
And
success rate, essentially.
Yeah, and 20% patients going home next day after bypass surgery.
Oh, okay.
Unheard.
The next day?
Yeah, next
Okay,
day.
okay.
And then 50%, 2 days or less. Average length of stay to 3.2 days. So we saw this and patients recovering and going back to their functional status, driving, playing golf. And it was very inspiring. So I just kept pushing. So I did a lot of early pioneering work in robotic surgery in US. I had the largest number of surgeries, did over 1,400 robotic cases at that time while I was in practice. That was the biggest volume in the world. Trained a lot of people from around the world. So there was always this passion that we must change the direction of surgery, not just for cardiac, but also for many other specialties. And that really kept me going with the robot, yes.
So work-wise, there was a lot happening in the year 2002 when you were working in Texas. Then you decided to come to India for a brief time at least. So what was it that got you to India in the year 2002? You did the first robotic surgery here?
Yes,
in
so
India?
in 2002, Dr. Naresh Trayan is a dear friend of mine. So they were going through inauguration of the expansion and President Abdul Kalam was there.
Okay.
So he invited me to come and do a live broadcast of robotic surgery.
Okay.
So I did the first ever case in India in December of 2002.
Okay.
And President Abdul Kalam was in the room, Dr. Trayan was there. And being a scientist, he was pretty intrigued actually and talked for 10 minutes about what we were doing. So this is how I came to India at that time,
Yes.
just to kind of launch the robotic cardiac program at Escorts in Delhi.
Right. What is it that almost 10 years later you decided to come back to India? What is it that got you back here?
Well, simply 2 words.
Okay.
One, destiny and love of motherland. And having accomplished a lot of things in United States, invitation came that time from Fortis to launch 10 robotic programs in the country. And I was just wanting to really, bring it back. I used to come to India to operate. I operated in Sai Baba Hospital almost every year for 7 years.
Okay.
So there was always this love for the country and be able to serve people here. So when the invitation came, I talked to the family and just decided to pack the bags,
They were
brought
too
the
happy.
family, and 2011 moved to India to launch robotic programs actually, and formed a company. We purchased the robot. It was tough, very expensive system that time, early days of robotic surgery. So somewhat challenging, but we initiated, and this is what actually led me to move to India. And what the move initially was very challenging, somewhat frustrating.
So I'm just wondering, like, you wouldn't really be finding just so many people living in the US from India wanting to come back to India. What is it that made you take that decision in the year 2011?
Well, the way I look at it, problems are challenges. Also, they create opportunities to fix them. We can always kind of hold back and let the problem be somebody else's. But I think problems are also opportunities for us to really contribute and find a way to solve it. And so my vision was very positive. Let's keep going. And this is what, when I found out that the system was unaffordable for many, many patients around the world, literally, and also in India, got involved with the development of creating an affordable robotic system. And that really got me where we are today in relation to the technology.
That was a remarkable journey, and I think that is what led to another dream run of yours. It's your company, which is SS Innovations International Inc. And we'll talk about that and your initiatives on that front on the other side of this very short commercial break.
The mission at that time to create SS Innovation was to create, first of all, a more advanced technology. Because what technologies were existing, they were about 20, 25 years old. So being a new company, we could add a lot of things that are better and easily available today.
are now at the SS Innovations Lab, and this is the place where healing takes a whole new meaning altogether. And the brain behind this is, of course, Dr. Sudhir Srivastav, and he's with us right now. Doctor, what do you have for us?
Let's walk in. We'll show you our vision.
Certainly, let's go ahead.
This is our demo room. There's a lot of surgeons who come for training. We bring them here, show them our system, then they get to sit down and actually try the system.
Sir, so tell us what really has been your mission?
So recognizing the need, when I came, saw that we could not offer robotic surgery mainly because of affordability, even though wonderful results, great for the patients. So really the mission at that time to create SS Innovation was to create, first of all, a more advanced technology. Because what technologies were existing, they were about 20, 25 years old. So being a new company, we could add a lot of things that are better and easily available today. So was to create a more advanced technology, and ultimately it should be absolutely affordable.
Yes.
Because any technology that is expensive cannot benefit most. So the mission of SSI as a vision was really to create that an affordable technology to benefit not just patients in India, but literally around the world.
Affordability and also accessibility is what you've always emphasized on as your mantra.
Absolutely. And mantra is our system.
Who works with you? What's your team like? What do they really do? Just tell us a little more about them.
Wonderful team of a very dedicated group. Somebody asked me, what's your strongest asset?
Yes.
And I said, our team.
Young group of men and women?
Average age 26, 27 years.
Right.
And if I describe, they might ask me for a pay raise later on.
Okay.
But they are absolutely dedicated, homegrown, absolutely indigenous, make in India, truly.
Okay.
So designed by our team,
Right.
manufactured in India, assembled here, and what we say, made in India for the world.
Absolutely. Adds to the beauty of all of this, I guess.
Yes.
Let's go meet your team then.
Yeah, sure. Let's go this way. Yes. Hi, Sneha. So
Right.
here are some members of our wonderful young engineering team and many other staff from various support services.
Right.
Here is Dr. Vishwa, my son,
Hi.
who is president and
Nice
chief
meeting
operating
you.
officer of our organization.
Okay. So how does this work, this father-son partnership in bringing out the best in SSI Innovations?
So working with my father, I don't know how it is for many others, but for me, it's tough. I've been working with him since 2008, and even then it was tough, but nothing good came from anything easy. I feel that when he asked me to come here and help him on this project, he recruited me in November of 2020. I was working as a doctor in Chicago, and I was faced with the question, either I could see one patient at a time, as most doctors do, or I could come and contribute to this project so that eventually and hopefully we could contribute and help thousands of patients in the future. My daily work here, it was very interesting and challenging in the beginning because it's transitioning from medicine to engineering. Ultimately, it's an engineering project. But I was very blessed to work with the team that we have. I see their passion, their eagerness, ingenuity, their dedication and devotion to this project, ultimately to help people, not only in India, but all around the world. And so slowly, I found my way, or I fell into it rather. And I'm really glad with what we've been able to produce. I think our intentions and our vision is humanitarian, and I think we're doing everything for the right reason. And I'm really glad that we are where we are today. And finally, the fruits of all of our labors are evident and in front
Absolutely.
of us.
That's great. So what about the assembly, Dr. Srivastav?
So let's go
where you will
downstairs.
Right.
Our assembly occurs downstairs.
Okay.
And all I can tell you, you'll be very impressed with what team has accomplished downstairs.
Right. All right,
So
so let's
let's
go
go.
ahead.
Yes.
Nice meeting you all. Nice meeting you.
Thank you all.
So we are here at your lab now, sir. Just tell us how things work. This, of course, is the place where a lot of the back-end work is done. For us, it's pretty technical. So just to explain to us.
Yeah, so this is our assembly area, and all the major components of our Mantra robotic system are assembled here. So these are various components. This one is more assembled, and this is where finally the hand controls will be mounted.
Right.
And all I can say, it is highly complex.
Okay.
And we have a wonderful, great team of engineers that have been able to do this thing from scratch.
Sir, just give us a sense of what is the future of robotics in India. How do you see it transforming the healthscape completely?
So the robotics, ultimately the goal is to make the surgical procedures as less traumatic as possible, ultimately translating into a very fast functional recovery for the patients. Ultimately what it will do, it will cut down the cost at every level. So if you have a long recovery, long hospital stay, patients have to rearrange every single thing. Families have to rearrange, a lot of expenses, emotional, economic stress.
Yes.
So robotic surgery will allow us to get these people back to functional. And I think one of the vision is that using the high-speed connectivity that exists today, 5G and fiber, we can take this thing wherever. So that means in rural areas, in smaller communities, in remote locations whereby help is not available,
Yes, sir.
we can actually provide all of these services wherever required. So this is, of course, a long-term vision, and it is absolutely achievable. So I use this term, decentralizing excellence. So whereby patients don't have to travel. We can provide all of these things wherever required. Of course, big centers will always have expertise, and the telesurgery, in fact, will allow people to be able to get the care from these experts wherever.
Talk to us about the new innovations in this field that you have seen over a period of time.
So what you have seen here, these are small steps of a very sophisticated technology that will truly change the lives of so many patients, not just in India, but around the world. So what SSI represents is a made in India Mantra surgical robotic system for the world.
All right, so small steps, but very, very important steps that will make a lot of change in the lives of people in the long run, isn't it, Dr. Srivastav? So thank you so much for connecting with us, and all the best for your vision, all the best for all your endeavors. Thank you so much for watching. Keep watching India Today for the very latest news and updates.